Hello everyone, welcome to experiment number 2 of our system simulation lab. In this experiment, we are going to simulate a directional relay, and for this purpose, we have considered a two-bus system consisting of three-phase source connected to bus number 1 and a three-phase RLC load connected to bus number 2. And before modeling the system, we need to get the components from Simulink library browser. From Simscape, we will choose electrical, specialized power systems, fundamental blocks, and from there we will choose electrical sources, and here we will add the three-phase source. From measurements, three-phase voltage current measurement block, and from elements we will choose the three-phase breaker, three-phase fault, and three-phase series RLC load. Depending upon our requirements, we can add other components to our model too. Next step is to specify the parameters of each of these components, and we will begin with three-phase source. Here we have mentioned the phase-to-phase voltage as 11 kV, phase angle at zone, frequency 50 Hz, base voltage 11 kV, and rest other parameters kept as at zone. And what we say bus in our practical power system, that we have represented in our model as a three-phase voltage current measurement block, where we have specified the phase to ground voltage and also taken the current measurement. The next elements are all relay element, and we will talk about this component later on. Next, we will move to the three-phase breaker, and its parameters are initial status is kept as closed, and the switching is external. That is, the status of the breaker will only change when it will receive the trip signal from the relay elements. And other parameters like the breaker resistance, knob resistance, and all these are mentioned at zone. And the that is a transmission line of the three-phase power system is being power system model is like in this model we have represented in three sections, and each of these section is being represented by a distributed parameter block, where we have specified the number of phases, frequency 50 Hz, and resistance per unit length, inductance per unit length, and capacitance per unit length. And while all these parameters are same for the three sections, only we need to change the line length for each of the section. For example, for the section number 1, we have kept the line length as 10 kilometer. Similarly, for section number 2, again another distributed parameter block, where the number of phases, frequency, and all these are kept same. Line length here also we have taken 10 kilometer. And the third section we have taken same parameters as previous, and only we have taken the line kilometer is 20 kilometer. This is how we have represented the transmission line. Again we have another, that is the bus number 2, which is again represented by a three-phase voltage current measurement block. And finally we consider the load is represented by a three-phase series RLC load, where we have specified the phase-to-phase voltage, nominal frequency, active power, inductive reactive power, and capacitive reactive power. Now that we have like specified all these parameters, and we have completed the connections for each of this, now the model is the three-phase power system model. So this was all about the three-phase power system model we have considered. Next, we can see there are two relay units that are used in this model. Both of them are identical, so we can take any one of these two relays to understand the relay subsystem in details. So this is the relay subsystem, and the input to this relay subsystem is a three-phase voltage and three-phase current that we had obtained from the three-phase voltage current measurement block that we have named as bus 1 in this model. From there we obtain this three-phase voltage, three-phase current, and it is given as input to this relay subsystem, and the output that the relay subsystem gives is the trip signal. So how this trip signal is obtained, we will see here. Inside the relay subsystem we have several other subsystems like so first step is to calculate from the that is three-phase quantities. We need to obtain the individual phase quantities, and this we do using the demux block. And this is we have selected the number of outputs as 3. The function of this demux block is to split the signals from three phase values. We obtain individual phase voltages, that is VA, VV, VC. Similarly, from the three phase current we obtain the individual current like the IA, IB, and IC. Next step is to from these individual phase quantities we need to obtain the symmetrical components, that is zero sequence, positive sequence and negative sequence, and this is done inside this subsystem. And inside here we can see, before we calculate the symmetrical components from the individual phase quantities, we need to do the find out the RMS values of the individual phase. And in the last experiment we had done this using the Simulink block. Here we are going to use the MATLAB user defined function block to find out the RMS, and the technique we are going to follow is the one cycle DFT technique. Before we do the DFT calculation here, first of all we need to find out the we need to get the samples, and for that, from the analog input time domain analog signal, that is the input given to the relay, we need to find out the in order to find out the samples, we follow the zero order whole sampling technique, and where the sampling time we have given as 1 upon 16 into 50, so this will give us 16 samples per cycle, and these 16 samples are being stored using the buffer, and this is how we define the parameter for buffer. Now we have obtained 16 samples per cycle. Now using these 16 samples per cycle, we can use one cycle DFT technique to find out the RMS values, and this calculation of one cycle DFT using the samples per cycle is done inside this MATLAB user defined function. And the equations that we have followed here is equation number 1. Here we have this equation has to be coded in the MATLAB user defined function that we have done inside this block. First of all, we defined some matrices, then we have used two for loops, one to change the cycle, that is the window, and the other for loop is used to calculate the summation. And here we have defined the equation, that is the equation number that is equation number 1. This we have done coded here, and finally we have multiplied the multiplying factor root 2 upon n. Here n is the number of samples per cycle. Here it is 16, so the square root 2 upon 16 we have multiplied to get the final RMS value. This we have to repeat for individual phase, that is the same RMS calculation has to be done for the VA, VB and VC. Finally, then after using these RMS values, we can obtain the symmetrical components. And for symmetrical components calculation from the phase values, we use a transformation matrix. That also it is mentioned in the manual. This transformation matrix, using this transformation matrix, we can get the symmetrical components or the zero sequence, positive sequence and negative sequence components from the phase values. This we have defined in another MATLAB user defined function. First of all, we have defined the alpha operator, then alpha square operator, and here we have defined the transformation matrix, and finally we multiplied that 1 upon 3 multiplying factor to get the individual sequence components or zero sequence components, positive sequence components and negative sequence components. Now that this step has to be similarly done for the current three-phase currents also. First of all, from three-phase current we use DMUX to get the individual phase current. Then again we need to follow the that is RMS calculation for each of these phase, and then again we use transformation matrix to get the sequence components, and this is we have done for the voltage as well as for the current. Now that we have got the symmetrical components for the voltage and the symmetrical components for the current, now we are ready to use these values. Inside the directional relay, we use these sequence components to find out the angular relationship between the current and the voltage. For example, here in this experiment, we have used the negative sequence current and voltage and find out, and then we have obtained the phase angle between the negative sequence current and negative sequence voltage. Then we have used some if-else statements to define the relay, that is the trip logic. In case our angle difference comes out to be positive, that is 0 to 180 degree, it will be called as a reverse fault. In that case, the relay should not trip. So the relay that is the output of this directional relay element, it will be given as binary 0. In case the for that angular that phase angle comes out to be phase angle difference comes out to be that is minus or 0 to minus 180 degree, it will be called as a forward fault, and here the relay should trip. That is the output of the directional relay unit will be binary 1. This we have defined inside this the MATLAB user defined function. This is all about the logic of the relay directional relay subsystem. Now we are ready to check the performance of this directional relay. For that purpose, we have used two relay units in this three-phase power system model. To one relay unit, we have multiplied a factor 1 to the current entering into that particular relay, so that this will emulate the practical condition of forward fault. And in order to emulate the practical condition of reverse fault, we have multiplied a factor -1 to the current entering into the second relay. So this is how we have created the forward fault and reverse fault for the relay. Now when the model is being run, we can see the trip value coming from the first relay. That is for forward fault, the first relay, the trip value came out to be 1. So the first relay performed correctly. And for a reverse fault for the second relay, the trip value came out to be 0. So this second relay also performed correctly. Now if we want to check the phase angle, angle difference between the negative sequence current and voltage came out to be negative. That is for the forward fault or for the first relay, and and if you want to check for the reverse fault, the angle difference came out to be positive values, that is between 0 to 180 degrees. So the trip logic came out to be 0 for the second relay. So this is all about the performance of the directional relay, and we have reached the end of the second experiment. Thank you for watching.